Virginia is not a national leader in raising any single farm commodity, but agriculture is still the state's largest economic sector thanks to the wide diversity of crops and livestock raised here. Farmers in the Old Dominion raise everything from apples to zucchini, and different crops are planted year-round. But spring is when things get really busy, especially for corn growers.
We need to look at the planter and see if it has any wear on it. You know, certain parts may need replacing. You want to make sure everything is accurate when you plant the corn, and you got certain depths, certain settings you have on the planter. Make sure everything's working. A lot of electronics on the planter. You know, it's pretty complex.
Ryan Ellis, his father and grandfather farm 4,000 acres of land they own and rent in eastern Virginia. They started planting corn at the very beginning of April, as soon as the soil warmed to the right temperature. But they've been planning this year's crop for months.
Take soil samples back in the fall and see what you need, you know, what the requirements are for different crops and what you have to put out for each crop on each field. And so we've been working on putting out lime and fertilizer, granular fertilizer, on the fields before planting, and we've got some that we'll do that, you know, if we haven't gotten to them, we'll do them after planting if we have to.
The top 4 farm commodities in Virginia are poultry, cattle, dairy, and tobacco. Soybeans, corn, hay, vegetables, cotton, fruit, pork, and nursery products are also big players in the ag economy. Virginia corn growers are expected to plant about 480,000 acres this year, 10,000 acres less than in 2016. Soybean plantings could increase 10,000 acres to 620,000 acres this year. Nationwide, soybean supplies from previous crops are down, while corn supplies are up. Whether it's soybeans or corn, Ellis says Virginia growers take extra measures to protect the environment from unwanted runoff.
Buffers around waterways and grass strips, stuff like that for filtering. And then as far as when we're spraying and putting out fertilizer, you know, you don't want to put out any more than you have to, because the more you have there, it's more likely that it can leach off into your water, and so we kind of try to do the minimum as far as when we're spraying is, you know, gallons per acre.
Other grain crops raised in Virginia include barley, oats, and winter wheat. All 3 of those are typically planted in the fall, go fallow over the winter, and are harvested in the spring. So it's not uncommon for some growers to be planting corn one day and harvesting wheat a few weeks later. Pick-your-own strawberries are also planted in the fall and over winter. Vegetable crops are usually started in greenhouses in the winter, as are tobacco plants, and then transplanted in the spring. Flowers, shrubs, and other greenhouse plants can be started anytime and moved outside when ready. Peanut and cotton crops are planted in the spring. Ellis says if you're planting row crops, you must understand and use computer programs and satellite technology.
Now we have GPS on the tractors, you know, for guidance, and then you have GPS on the combine to record yield when you're cutting everything, and GPS on the sprayer, you know, guidance for that. It's a whole lot different than it was 10 years ago, that's for sure.
It's not uncommon to work from sunup to well after dark during corn planting season. Ellis says as a 4th-generation farmer, it's the only job he can imagine doing.
I enjoy it very much. It's just being able to work for yourself is nice. You know, you have a little bit more freedom there, but at the same time you have responsibilities to, you know, make your own income, and how you do your work, you know, kind of decides that.
Whether it's corn or one of a dozen other crops, Ellis shares the work ethic that drives thousands of Virginia farmers to start planting in the spring, with the hope of a good harvest come the fall. In Essex County, Virginia, I'm Norm Hyde.